Well, there's pushback to aggressive transgender activism, as you know, right across the globe at the moment. And I talk about it quite often. Parents, students, federal and state leaders, even local councillors are using the biological fact to remind others that sex is binary, that, you can't change your sex even with drugs or surgery. And even in the Tasmanian capital of Hobart, one local councillor is defying her woke and intimidated fellow councillors to say that trans women are trans women and remain biological men. Louise Elliott's statements made publicly have resulted in her being referred to a tribunal inquiry for possibly inciting hatred on the basis of gender identity. What sort of a world are we living in? And the animosity inside Hobart City Council has even led to Louise being physically contacted by the Lord Mayor. Let's find out what's going on here. Professionally, Louise Elliott's experience has been in human resources, policy and communications for the government. Before becoming a Hobart councillor, Louise was consultant for local businesses and organisations. Louise Elliott, welcome to TNT Radio.
Thank you for having me, Chris.
Thank you very much for coming on. Now, let's start from the facts you used at this public forum that upset the woke and woeful in Tassie. What did you say?
Right, I said really outrageous things. I stated the truth and my fair and valid opinion. So I spoke at a Let Women Speak event back in March this year, and part of my speech, which is available on X, it's a completely reasonable speech, and I said really outrageous things, like you said, that trans women are trans women and remain biological men. Oh. I said that you can't be raped with a penis if there is no penis present, in the context of men in women's change rooms, things like that. Yep. I also said the truth that, the vast majority of transgender and gender diverse people are very decent people. But sex is real, and in certain situations, sex really matters.
So you don't have it in for transgender people. Let's get that straight.
Not at all. I am pro safety, fairness and dignity for women.
Okay.
In most circumstances, what you call yourself, what you dress, if you want to go to the supermarket, if you want to, join a social group, fine, be whatever you like. But in things like women's sports, prisons, shelters, change rooms, sex does matter.
Because it is dangerous, it is invasive, and it can be unfair when you're trying to, accrue the rights of biological women.
That's right. We can't pretend that men and women aren't fundamentally different in a lot of ways. We are, when it comes to physiology, men are bigger, stronger, bigger lungs, more muscle capacity, things like that. When it comes to safety, it's sad, but it's true. But, 97% of violent crimes are committed by men. And we are seeing stories across the globe of men with trans women, men with sexual assault crimes being sent to women's prisons. Yep. I'm even hearing locally from the local Hobart lesbian community that they've lost their once-a-month event they had for lesbians to catch up because it's now been overtaken with trans women.
Okay, so you've been referred to a tribunal. Who was grossly upset the most?
So after the speech in March, there was a complaint lodged with the Equal Opportunity Tasmania down here. The complaint was accepted for investigation, which I think is the first problem because that's setting the bar so low. And this is a taxpayer-funded investigation. And taxpayers are taking me to the tribunal, despite the fact that the vast majority of people agree with me. I'm going to the Tasmanian Civil and Administrative Tribunal, the anti-discrimination stream of that. And what they're alleged is that in my speech, including those statements that I made before, that I have incited hatred on the basis of gender identity, which all sane people know is ludicrous.
How will you go in the tribunal, do you think?
I really don't know.
Because it depends on who's on the tribunal, who wants to create some kind of precedent on this level.
Well, the thing is, as soon as I received the complaint, I knew how serious this was in terms of precedent setting. I mean, these are the times now where we're testing out these laws. And don't get me wrong, inciting hatred, inciting violence laws have a rightful place, as we're seeing across the media. The rightful place is not silencing biological truth or a fair opinion about people speaking up for women's rights. So the argument we're putting forward with my legal team is that the way these laws are being implemented is a gross overreach of our implied right to freedom of political communication under the Constitution. And then that raises a lot of questions because the only people that can make constitutional type decisions is the High Court. So very well, we could see it that the case is quickly moved up the line, heading towards High Court.
Wow.
Or I'm hoping that it's dismissed by the tribunal because of the farce that it is.
Well, we'll see whether it is. Was the mayor against what you had to say about trans women?
I sit in a 12-person council, and it's fair to say that 8 out of the 12 people are fully on board with gender ideology. They subscribe to that set of beliefs.
So the mayor wasn't on your side on that subject?
She's not on my side on this subject, no. I've actually received a letter on Office of the Lord Mayor letterhead saying that you have publicly refuted that trans women are women. Yes, I have refuted that, and I will continue to do so.
Of course. Just because they want to be women doesn't make them women. And then all of a sudden you were complaining about the fact that the University of Tasmania's move to Hobart City was not what you wanted to see. And then all of a sudden you were grabbed physically, were you?
Yeah, so I spoke at a public meeting 18 months ago, and it's taken this long to resolve the matter, probably because of political preservation and intentional delays. And as I left the stage after speaking, I was grabbed and berated by the Lord Mayor because she really did not like what I had to say. That matter's only just been resolved recently. And in the last few days, I've actually also discovered that my council has discriminated against me and blocked me from booking the town hall at Hobart Town Hall for a women's rights event. So I'm actually being discriminated against now. So
wow.
I'll actually be having Equal Opportunity Tasmania working for me.
Oh, that's a good idea. You may as well take them as they've taken you.
Exactly right. So it cuts both ways. I mean, that's what I've made a point to my fellow councillors is that political discrimination basis of political belief is real.
Yeah. I hope you go well and truly hard on this. You will come out a victor if common sense means anything. Louise Elliott, thank you so much for your time. Let's catch up again.
Thank you.
There. We'll keep right across that. Louise Elliott, one of the people whose role in this should be echoed right across the world. The pushback is so important. This is Chris Smith. We'll come back after the news on TNT Radio.